Yeats' poetry has never, in a sense, diminished in its reputation. Officially, people still write books about Yeats, Yeats' iconography, Yeats' biography, and obviously in all anthologies his work is well represented. However, somehow there is a kind of slight silence around him. He is an immensely powerful lyrical poet, and lyrical poetry is not any longer very much appreciated. Poetry of today, on the whole, is absolutely not lyrical. It's very much a poetry of the commonplace, a poetry of the ordinary, which is why it never soars into any kind of popularity. Yeats was a hugely important influence in my life, and I'm going to read only some of his early poems. He had three periods: early, middle and late, and they all have their own strengths. But I would like to read his early and most powerful lyrical poems, and I'll begin with The Rose of the World. Who dreamed that beauty passes like a dream? For these red lips, with all their mournful pride, mournful that no new wonder may betide, Troy passed away in one high funeral gleam, and Ursula's children died. We and the labouring world are passing by, amid men's souls that waver and give place, like the pale waters in their wintry race. Under the passing stars, foam of the sky lives on this lonely face. Bow down, archangels, in your dim abode, before you were or any hearts to beat. Weary and kind, one lingered by his seat. He made the world to be a grassy road beneath her wandering feet. The Lake Isle of Innisfree was inspired, Yeats said himself, by an advertisement in a shop window in the Strand in London. It was fountains of water playing in the air, and in the fountains of water were some small balls being rotated, and it was this strange magical object that made Yeats write probably his most famous poem. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings, their midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. When you are old and grey. When you are old and grey and full of sleep, and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true, but one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face, and bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. who goes with Fergus? Who will go drive with Fergus now, and pierce the deep wood's woven shade, and dance upon the level shore? Young man, lift up your russet brow, and lift your tender eyelids maid, and brood on hopes and fears no more, and no more turn aside and brood upon love's bitter mystery. For Fergus rules the brazen cars, and rules the shadows of the wood, and the white breast of the dim sea, and all dishevelled wandering stars. The lamentation of the old pensioner. Although I shelter from the rain under a broken tree, my chair as it was nearest to the fire in every company that talked of love or politics ere time transfigured me. Though lads are making pikes again for some conspiracy, and crazy rascals rage their fill at human tyranny, my contemplations are of time that has transfigured me. There's not a woman turns her face upon a broken tree, and yet the beauties that I loved are in my memory. I spit into the face of time that has transfigured me. The two trees. Beloved, gaze in thine own heart. The holy tree is growing there. From joy the holy branches start, and all the trembling flowers they bear, the changing colours of its fruit, have dowered the stars with merry light. The surety of its hidden root has planted quiet in the night. The shaking of its leafy head has given the waves their melody, and made my lips and music wed, murmuring a wizard's song for thee. There the loves a circle go, the flaming circle of our days, gyring, aspiring to and fro in those great ignorant leafy ways, remembering all that shaken hair, and how the winged sandals dart. Thine eyes grow fond of tender care. Beloved, gaze in thine own heart. Gaze no more in the bitter glass. The demons with their subtle guile lift up before us when they pass, or only gaze a little while. For there a fatal image grows that the stormy night receives, roots half hidden under snows, broken boughs and blackened leaves. For all things turn to barrenness in the dim glass the demons hold, the glass of outer weariness, made when God slept in times of old. There, through the broken branches, go the ravens of unresting thought, flying, crying to and fro, cruel claw and hungry throat. Or else they stand and sniff the wind and shake their ragged wings. Alas, thy tender eyes grow all unkind. Gaze no more in the bitter glass. The Song of Wandering Angus. I went out to the hazel wood, because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand, and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing, and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream, and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. A poet to his beloved. I bring you with reverent hands the books of my numberless dreams, white woman that passion has worn, as the tide wears the dove-grey sands, and with heart more old than the horn that is brimmed from the pale fire of time, white woman with numberless dreams, I bring you my passionate rhyme. He wishes for the cloths of heaven. Had I the heavens' embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor of only my dreams, I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, for you tread on my dreams. The Fiddler of Dooney. When I play on my fiddle in Dooney, folk dance like a wave of the sea. My cousin is priest in Kilvarnet, my brother in Muckerbrewee. I passed my brother and cousin, they read in their books of prayer. I read in my book of songs I bought at the Sligo fair. When we come at the end of time to Peter sitting in state, he will smile on the three old spirits, but call me first through the gate. For the good are always the merry, saved by an evil chance, and the merry love the fiddle and the merry love to dance. And where the folk there spy me, they will all come up to me, with here is the Fiddler of Dooney, and dance like a wave of the sea. I will end with a slightly later poem, and a more sad note creeps in here, the follow of being comforted. One that is ever kind said yesterday, your well-beloved's hair as threads of grey, and little shadows come about her eyes. Time can but make it easier to be wise, though now it seems impossible, and so all that you need is patience. Heart cries, no, I have not a crumb of comfort, not a grain. Time can but make her beauty over again. Because of that great nobleness of hers, the fire that stirs about her when she stirs burns but more clearly. Oh, she had not these ways when all the wild summer was in her gaze. Oh, heart, if she'd but turn her head, you know the folly